Trustee Jenkins,
Present.
Trustee Franklin,
Trustee Franklin
Trustee-
emailed me and he won't be here for the night for the record.
okay. Trustee Bowden,
Present.
Trustee Lewis,
Present.
Mayor Rudaz.
Present.
All right.
Madam Clerk, I'm going to read our disclaimer right now. The disclaimer is still in effect. You know that the governor has opened up the state. This executive order is still in effect. So pursuant to Governor Pritzker's Executive Order 2020-07, COVID-19 Executive Order number 5, which suspends the requirement of the Illinois Open Meetings Act, requiring in-person attendance by members of a public body during the duration of the gubernatorial disaster proclamation. The members of the village board will not be physically present for the designated board meeting, but will instead be participating in the meeting through audio access using a virtual meeting platform. Public comments may be submitted in advance of the meeting to Village Clerk D. Jones at university-park-il.com or by text message to Village Clerk at 708-473-6201. All comments must be received by 5 p.m. the day before the meeting. And in order to give proper consideration to all items on this agenda, the mayor will limit participants in the debate and will close off protracted, repetitive, irrelevant, or abusive remarks. Public comments will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. Also, just for the record, this appears to be our last Zoom meeting. It looks like we will be going live in person at our next meeting. I'm proud to say that, and I'll be looking forward to seeing all of our residents in person again. So this looks like this will be the our last Zoom meeting, unless there's a special meeting in between now and the next one. But all right, let's do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Pledge
to the
allegiance
flag
to the flag,
of the United States of
United
America,
States of America, and
and
to the
to the republic,
for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
liberty
and justice for all.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, is there a motion for approval of the minutes?
So move.
Moved by
So,
trustee
second.
Booth, second by trustee Bowden. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Trustee McFadden,
Present.
No, this is for the vote to approve.
This
the
is-
minutes.
this is-
both sides. Sorry.
that's
Little
okay.
confused.
That's okay. Trustee Brooks,
Vote side.
Trustee Jenkins,
Both sides.
Trustee Bowden,
Both sides.
Trustee Lewis,
Both sides.
Mayor Rudaz.
Vote aye.
All right.
Madam Clerk, are there general public comments tonight?
Yes, I have 2 general public comments that will be read. First public comment is from Miss Gina Williams. It says, when did we ink a deal with Carvana? I have watched video after video of our board meetings and have yet to hear it being mentioned. What date was it voted on and who voted yes to it? Was it ever brought to before the Planning Commission? And if so, when? Why would we get a Carvana which will render little revenue or no revenue to our community? We're in greater need of a grocery store. We have yet to offer anything to our college students, no sandwich shop, pizzeria, etc. Yes, I heard you mention a Cracker Barrel or possibly a Jimmy John's. Well, we'll believe it when we see it. Just like the health clinic that never came to fruition, or the boxing club for boys. Lies, lies, and more lies. Why put the horse before the cart? We are in need of a grocery store, and that would have been a prime place for it. It's bad enough you brought an alkaline company that hasn't opened yet. Amazon, another blunder. We gained nothing for 20 years and owe them 1 million plus interest. There's an Amazon in Monique. There was no need to put one in our backyard. I'm sorry. Do y'all ever think things out? You also mentioned a park district. Please spare us. We do not need another taxing body, not to mention our parks are in deplorable shape. You and the village manager didn't even want to support the baseball organization. The clubhouse is filled with maggots in the refrigerator and feces on the door, shaking my head. We could have maintained our own parks and recs due to the negligence, although they had a healthy budget and rendered little to nothing to our residents, mainly our children. Thanks to you, the liaison and then the director. Any repairs or maintenance that was done by the most part was some shady person or persons that ripped the village off. I recall once a check made out to DJ Phantom for 5K, although supposedly it was never cash. Who does that? I asked a question at the town hall meeting. Why is the public still being kept out of Zoom meetings? No one can catch COVID through Zoom. You wouldn't allow it because you don't want to face the backlash you rightly deserve. The VM responded. My questions was asked and answered earlier. That was a flat out lie. She too didn't want to face the music. You had us roasting in a 93-degree weather, no canopy. Why couldn't we use the golf course? Oh, I forgot. They have no AC, no liquor license, or no maintenance crew. Yes, we are aware the 90 Town Center had extensive damage over the winter months. Whose fault is that? Why wasn't a claim filed? Oh, no liability insurance. So pitiful. But this is your newspaper instead of all the lies we are being fed. That concludes Ms. Williams' comments. The next public comment is from Ms. Vivian Covington. Her question is, why aren't the board meetings shared with the public? I noticed before the candidates were sworn into office, they were on Zoom. This is an insult to the taxpayers, not allowing the residents to have participation in the very beginning. Next question. When will this be open to the public? Question 3. When will there be a finance meeting? Question 4. How many people are on the Fire and Police Commission? Who are they? Which of them, other than Mr. Lovelace, had module training? And that completes the comments tonight.
You muted. Mayor, you're muted.
I'm sorry. Okay, I said I would be glad to respond to some of Ms. Covington's questions. For one, I just mentioned earlier, we're gonna start meeting in July and open. And our next meeting will be in public for everyone to attend. The second one was regarding the town hall meeting. And why we were out there in the blazing heat is because the town hall meeting was planned so far ahead, and it was planned with the COVID atmosphere. So no one had any idea that the state would be all opened up when it was time to have that. And then we couldn't go in to 90 Town Center because of the construction. But I'm so sorry, but that was something that we had to do. We pledged to have our town hall meetings annually, twice a year, once going from spring to summer and from fall into winter. We just were good stewards with our work. Unfortunately, it was extremely hot for some. So we apologize. I can't apologize for the weather, but we got the message out. And the third thing is the Police and Fire Commissioner. It's former Sheriff's Police Tyra Brown, 20-year resident of the town. Sharif Brown, retired Cook County Sheriff, 20+ year resident of the town. Professor Roosevelt Martin, Dean of Business in Chicago State, 15+ year resident in town. Don Pearlman, 20-year resident, retired CTA and union leader with CTA. And there's one vacancy that's going to be filled very soon. So those are members of the Police and Fire Commission. And no, they haven't had the module training, but it is scheduled for this summer. As all new candidates that come to that commission will have to go through that training and evaluation, as everybody who was new to it had to. So we're on the right steps and we are following the protocol. Did I answer all of those questions?
Actually, it's November.
Yes.
November 1st, Mayor. There you go.
Okay, thank you, Trustee. Yep. So everything is planned to go. And if there are any classes in between that they can get advantage on, I'm sure that we'll get them in there. It's important. Very crucial committee.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
you said that this will be our last Zoom meeting and it will be in July, but don't you mean maybe August? Because we don't have meetings in July, or I don't know.
We got one
in July.
The second
Just that
Sunday,
one.
the second Tuesday in July is our
Okay.
only meeting in July, and there are no
Okay.
meetings in the month of August.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mayor,
And no,
may I
hold on. Yes, ma'am. Let me go back to say something else, because no, we have not inked the deal with the potential of Carvana yet. But when they own the land, they have the right to grade and excavate and clean their land up, and then intentions that they come to the board. And for the record, for any municipality, having a car dealership is the biggest piece of tax and revenue that a municipality can receive. So yeah. So that's the up to date. That's pretty much all I can say to respond to all of the questions. Trustee Jenkins, I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to ask you, when did it go to the planning commission? Do you recall?
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think it had to go to the planning commission because it did not need a variance or anything of that nature. Am I correct about that, Trustee and Ms. Manager E? So the only time that the planning commission meets, for the record, people, if there's a request for a change of a variance or ordinance, everything that happens in town does not go to the planning commission. It's on an as needed basis. Okay. All right. Anything else? That's all the public comments. All right. Item F2A, F2B, item 2C. Is there anything that someone would like to have removed to be voted on separately on the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, can I have F2A? Madam Clerk she's not here, but we had a conversation. I was kind of late in getting a response back because my attorney was unavailable. That's the only reason why I'm pulling, and I think that's could be understood if it was not in my control.
Well, yeah, I mean, that you've got the right to pull it. We'll see where it goes from there. Absolutely. Anything else for anybody? Trustee Sonia?
Can we I don't have my agenda in front of me, so would we be able to pull the first reading of the budget? That was on the agenda?
It is for a first reading, and prayerfully that we get the first reading passed so we can go to a public hearing and do the document work on let the publications go out and let everything go with the legal document. And then if there are changes and things, we still have to do the second and third reading.
Well, I want to ask some questions before it proceeds to the second reading. So it'll be pulled.
Oh yeah, you can pull that to have it considered separately. Yes, ma'am. Is that what you
thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Actually, Mayor, she don't have the agenda in front of her, but we did not put it down as the consent. We put it down as new business. Am I correct what I'm reading?
Oh yeah. You know what? We're not even.
Yes.
You're right. Thank you.
Right. All right. I'm getting it. I'm getting it now, the agenda. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
You
It's
can put
under
it
new
on
business.
on iPad too. So on the consent agenda, there are only 3 items. So it will be item F2B, a resolution about the license plate, and a resolution for former Mayor David Johnson.
Right.
Is there a motion to approve item F2B and item F2C?
So move.
Moved by trustee Brooks. Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Jenkins. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee McFadden,
Both sides.
trustee Brooks,
Both sides.
trustee Jenkins,
Both sides.
trustee Bolden,
Both sides.
trustee Lewis,
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez.
Vote aye.
All right, motion passed.
Okay, up for discussion on first, second, and third reading, item F2A that trustee Brooks has to have considered separately. Questions
Yes.
on this, trustee?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, as I said before, I would like to something. There were actually a couple things that I had that I think maybe we need to compare the Illinois compiled statute. That would be, I see Attorney D'Onofrio there tonight. The Illinois compiled statute 205. If we can look at, and no one has it in front of it, but it would be 3A, and it would reflect more of the 72. The 7 day would be 24 hours, and then in which the law requires within 24 hours. Excuse me, and then actually it does. There's an exception to the 4 years when it came to that. So if we can do that, and then also, Mayor, I more than likely I'm going to ask for this to be motion this for a first reading so that the lawyers can go back and review it so that we can have something on the books for this. I see people freezing up.
Yeah.
Can anyone hear me? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I seen everyone frozen. It scared me for a moment. Okay, yeah. So if it's okay, Mayor, I would like to get this passed, but it would be, we always have a first, second, and third reading. I thought that this is a first step, and let's also remember, I never did get the documents that originally caused for me to file suit. So I would like for us to get this done and also settle what I had asked for as well. So
I tell you what. Let's get this done and approved tonight because we don't want to continue stagnating things, and then we can come back and amend it. How about that? And that way we get it done, and there's opportunity to come back and amend it, and then we'll have something in place in our standing rules. We've been naked too long.
Well, just like I said, Mayor, it's not stagnant. It's not stagnating. I mean, it's the process of what we do because, it is a good, healthy debate. I think I did find here it is, 3 items, and actually even one, when it came to the credit card, I think we need to add in there, itemize for the credit card invoice containing itemization, and as well as bank statements containing itemization. So tonight, I'm just asking that we do a first reading the same way we would do the budget to make sure that everything is fine, and we do have that dialogue. I think that when we start passing things first, second, and third reading, it make it, as a board, I believe that, or actually it's not even believe, it's just that the residents believe that we're just passing any old thing. And this, to be honest, again, I did not even receive all the documents. And sometimes I feel like this is to get ahead of what I had filed, because I know we discussed that we were going to settle something, or I got a call on April 1st that the village would like to talk to me about these things. And this is one of the things that I definitely wanted to see in place. So I think we're jumping ahead, at least when it comes to Trustee Brooks, of trying to have something in black and white so that we can have something on the books. But the trustees have not experienced these things. And once again, I have not received what I have asked for since last year, what was given to me. And then I felt that I'm doing the village a favor here, as well as we have 2 new trustees by just simply having a discussion and saying, hey, it's good that we have policy on board. Also put it out the two clauses in this policy that I see that definitely violates what was written in the Local Record Act, and that we can fix this and we can have this done by July.
I mean, you think there's something broken because none of this came out in the COW meeting, and Steve, you wrote this piece of legislation. Speak on that.
Well, I guess I have a couple thoughts. One is the purpose of this policy is to have a rule for the village. It isn't a trustee specific policy. We believe the policy is consistent with what other municipalities who have such policies have in place. Obviously, whether to table it, whether to have multiple readings is not a decision I need to make. I don't believe, and I'm happy to look at any concerns, but if there's something in there that's inappropriate, I'm happy to look at. I don't believe anything is, but perhaps I missed something. Ryan Morton was working on this as well. So obviously, if the board could pass it tonight and we could amend it if something needs to be amended. That's more of a board decision than a legal decision, but the policy, I think, kind of set out the general consensus that I gleaned from speaking with everybody involved from the village, as well as kind of what I gleaned from the lawsuit. So I'm happy to take my direction from the majority of the board, how they wish to proceed.
Yeah, because what I'm hearing you saying, Theo, is you're waiting on another attorney's opinion.
Right, right, and I think I was very clear about that at the last board meeting when I said that I wanted to take a look at something that I felt, and I think Trustee Franklin, I think as a board we all agreed, right. And so I did see a flaw in here. Yes, Attorney Donofo, there is a flaw, and I think I'll read the Illinois compiled statute again. But if you go to page. That would be page 2 in that last paragraph right before it, where we had the records review should be possible, but no case longer than 7 days. We want to change that to 24 hours. It was, and once again, you guys are attorneys. But if you look,
who wants to change it? Who wants to change it?
I do.
When you say we want to change it,
I'm the legislator. I'm the legislator. I think I'm just being very clear that I think that a lot of this stems from when I filed the lawsuit, because I felt that I was not getting anything. And then also, I'm being honest here. I have not received everything I asked for, but I'm asking for this to be a first reading tonight. And from what I'm gathering is that the recommendation, if I was a board member that was oblivious to exactly the details of this, is that, oh, just go ahead and pass it, we'll modify it later. And the thing is that you have a trustee saying not table it, because table didn't come out my mouth. Let's make that clear. Table never came out of my mouth. I asked for this to be a first reading. Anything else, we can work out them final 2 details in there. I also gave an Illinois compiled statute for the
what number was that?
I'm going to look at. That's all I did.
What number, Theo?
Which number of the Illinois compiled statute?
Yeah.
Look at 50 of the Illinois compiled statute 205, section 3A, and go down and look now. Actually. Yeah, read it down in there and you'll see it.
All right, so we don't have to make this cumbersome, and this is what we got some options. You can make a motion, ask it to table to 1, the board can say yay or nay, or we can just pass the whole thing in its entirety, and we can come back and amend it, and this will have something in place instead of just having a void there.
Well, let's make it better.
50 years with no law. Trustee Shirley?
Well, let's make it better by making the passing a first reading. That's better than tabling it. Don't you agree?
I don't know who tabling was coming up with. Sure. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like Trustee Bolden, I thought tabling it. I'm not trying to table something, I'm trying to pass it, and I'm asking for a first reading.
Well, I guess the only thing I'll add to this is if I'm looking at the right section, the 24 hours just requires that the person in charge of such records could require a 24-hour notice prior to inspection.
Section of them.
That's all that says. It doesn't say that it can't be produced within 7 days. So, I mean, I'm happy to. I don't think what we wrote is contrary to that statute.
That's what I'm looking at.
And so I think I'm missing some, Trustee Brooks. So what are you asking us to, I understand you saying have a first reading. I understand that part. But what is it that you're saying? Because you have not gotten what you asked for, just have a first reading and then we can, and you want to change to 24 hours and then what else? Because you had a lot going on there and I think you kind of missed something.
Yeah.
Explain it to me and also the two new trustees, because I'm missing something.
Correct. So from what I see here, there were 2 changes that I would like to make in at least 3. And actually, I wanted to add on page 1 where it says, if it says on the credit card, containing itemizations for the credit card and for the bank statements, I would like that put in there, in which I think that's not unreasonable. And then on page 2, apparently, and that's the purpose of the lawyers, but as legislators, so apparently, Attorney Donafo, there seems to be an interpretation that may be a little different, but he says different, but those are discussions where I feel that we can always work out, but I'm not looking to table this. And then third, trustee, what I was saying is that I never even received what I asked for. I was given what they wanted to give me. And I have not filed a response. I haven't done anything, trustee. I think we had a long time ago looking to get what I'm asked for and make it a level across the board for every trustee if they ever ask for something. So, and then I'm not asking to table this. Once again, I'm asking that we make progress. I'm about progress. Yes.
It's been passed and amended.
So I'm making a motion that we call this for a first reading. And
I second it.
Yeah, and we can fit. Thank you.
All right. I know you didn't saw my hand. He just ignored me.
I said, acknowledge you a couple of times. I said, Trustee Jenkins. I don't
It's
ignore you.
okay. It's okay. We're gonna do. It's okay.
That's just me. The prayer is 8:05.
No, I didn't ignore you at all. You're taking the blame for stuff I don't do.
Okay, then. Gotcha.
So that would be Madam Clerk. That'll be up for her to call that roll.
Roll call, Madam Clerk. And this is on a motion to amend it
For
for
first
first reading.
For first reading.
Yes, sir. Not table.
Okay.
Jacilia, unmute.
Yeah,
I think, she's on mute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is,
I hope you understood it.
yes, ma'am. So
Okay.
this motion on the table is for first reading.
First
For-
reading.
Okay,
Pass it for first reading.
okay. Trustee McFadden,
Votes aye.
Trustee Brooks,
Votes aye.
Trustee Jenkins,
Votes aye.
Trustee Bolden,
Votes aye. I'm sorry. I was writing notes. Votes aye.
Trustee Lewis,
Votes aye.
Mayor Rudez.
I concur.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Mayor, one question. I know we have, do you want to go through the same process before? Is it Chief Clerk and then Madam Clerk send it to the village attorney?
Just respond to the emails so we can get this over and done with. Just respond to the emails and get it over and
I
done
agree.
with.
I just want to make sure, did you want me to send it directly?
Yeah, Yeah, it's a lot of static.
Okay, to the turn.
You breaking up a lot,
Yeah, I
Trustee
don't.
Brooks. I don't
Yeah.
know, internet what?
Okay,
Because we're missing a lot of what you're trying to say.
We
okay.
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? I don't want to sound like the commercial.
Better,
How about now?
Yeah.
better.
That's better.
The clerk, just send it to the clerk.
Okay. Oh,
Mm-mm.
much better. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, man. Well, I tell you what. We'll talk.
And Neva, is it something with the internet connection?
Because there's a lot of static.
No,
It's a
everything
lot.
it's fine. It sounds like somebody has some noise in their background to me.
Right. Yeah, that's going on.
I'm
If
gonna mute
everybody goes, if everybody goes on mute, we can isolate it, but there's nothing wrong on this end.
Okay, all right, because everybody gets kind of like frozen for a second. All right,
Yeah, no, it's working just fine.
all
Okay.
right. New business, item F3. F3A first reading budget ordinance fiscal year 2021-22. Trustee Jenkins, first of all, let's get a motion in a second. Then we open up the questions for Trustee Jenkins. Is there a motion?
So move.
Moved by Trustee Bowden,
Second.
second by Trustee Bell Jenkins. Questions? Come on, Sonia.
Okay.
This question is directed directly to Village Manager Ernestine. The first question I want to ask you is, did the budget go to the Finance Committee? Had you submitted this to the Finance Committee?
Trustee, we did talk about this earlier. I had not submitted this recent version to the Finance Committee, no. But it will be
Okay.
to the Finance Chair after the first reading, and then they can move on, because as I mentioned to you, the Finance Committee is an advisory committee. Technically the responsibility of the mayor board to approve and receive recommendations. Finance.
Okay, I just want that on the record. Also, what is our deficit here in the village right as of today? And did you add the recommendations on budget cuts to start the support of starting to diminish our deficit with the, with the village, with this budget? I want to know where the cuts are and what are we going to do? What is the plan in place on how we're going to reduce this deficit? What is the deficit as of now? I think the public needs to know that.
Well, the deficit as of the last was 3.6 million. The deficit, if you look at your budget, it tells you currently what the current deficit is on this particular budget. And if you look as of the budget right now, it would show that the deficit is 2.4 million. So it's been reduced to
2.4 million.
$2 million.
So would you also please let the public know what you're going to do to support cutting this deficit? What kind of plan do we have in place?
Okay.
So they can sit back and understand that the village is actually trying to do something, but they need to know what. We can't drive a car blind.
And just to piggyback on my trustee Sonia, not just alone do that, manager, understand? Let her know what the budget was when we got in here, or what the deficit was when we got in here, and let us know where we started at. So now then we can know on how the progress has been made since we got here, because it was way more than $2 million, and the people need to know the facts and the truth. Tired of people out here talking under the tables, telling all these lies and stories. That crap is going to stop now, and let the truth be told. This board and administration has done a phenomenal job on curing the debt, from $38 million from misappropriation of TIF funds and all that other nonsense. Finally, we're on track. We're getting our audits done and getting everything back in order. So Trustee Jenkins has a very valid question. Let's let the people know where we are now from where we were when we started. I greatly appreciate that.
Now, my question here is what are we going to do? I understand the past, but now we need to look at the future and the present. And we were aware that we made great strides and a lot of progress. but we need to insure them because we still have, let me go back and ask this question. Did we award raises to all of the employees in the village with no pool, no parks, no Regal Farm, streets not being repaired? I mean, not all of them, some of them, we did make progress with that one. We need to know what we are going to do. It is not fair to the taxpayers not to have anything. They need something for their money. And it's not, and I'm not being mean to you. This is just questions that people are asking me that I have to be able to give them a valid answer. And it's the opportunity for you to explain to the taxpayers what it is that we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it. We have 125 dead trees. I have 20 on my block and I'm so afraid one is leaning. So if it falls, then what? So if we can award these raises, we need to be able to give back to the community as well. And so I'm trying to see where that is in this budget. Also, I want to know all of the money that I'm glad to say, let me be fair, we have the town center all rented out. Where is that money reflected in the budget? Where is it going? Where is it being allocated to? Where did the CARES Act money get allocated to? You know, we need these things. We need the expenditure reports. We need the cost analysis. We have to be fiscally responsible in what it is that we're doing here on out.
Trustee, first of all,
Yes, ma'am.
CARES Act money, I'm going to reverse all your questions. The CARES Act money was on a reimbursement basis. So the monies that we got for the CARES Act went back into the general fund to compensate for the pay of the employees, both in the police and the fire department, because they were the only ones that were eligible for the CARES Act. But you need to also understand that even after the CARES Act reimbursement period, the village had to compensate for substantial overtime. So these dollars help balance their budget by paying for dollars that had already been expended. But in the meantime, those dollars were being replaced in the budget. So it wasn't used it was just used to replenish what had been taken. But the replenished dollars were used for subsequent payout for police and fire. That's the CARES money. The money's budget is based on the forensic audit that was done prior to the village. Once we completed, found out that the village actually owes TIF in excess of $28 million, of which we'll probably never be able to pay in excess of $8 million. We had nothing to do with it. We can't justify it, but the fact is, because this administration had the deficit as it came in, we're going to have to be responsible on how to rectify that situation. But since I'm here, we have borrowed $1.9 million. There was $3 million that was requested from TIF, but only $1.9 million were used. We anticipate paying that back at $5,000 per month back to the TIF fund. So there is a proposed process on paying that back, but it's very difficult to look at paying back $28 million. We don't have the financial wherewithal to do this. The other thing this board has to realize that you have certain policies, procedures, and union agreements that are in place, which means the policy and procedure employees that have worked for this university park from 10 to 5 years, they get longevity pay. And there's nothing you can do unless you go back and try to change over those laws, but that's after. So paying them based on a policy you approve, and then you come back and cut them as a result of a policy you approve, question mark legals. That's a major legal issue. So we've
Mhm.
that. In addition, the policies of the unions have what they call Me Too clauses. If one unit, 2% raises, you're going to have to give it accordingly across the board. That was reflective as this went around. Some employees received longevities. Some employees were given, depending on who the employees were, they were given longevity. They were giving according to classified positions, they were giving 2%. So those are all in there. Now here's the policy. Also, it's not just synonymous with University Park. You can almost every community in Cook and Will County, upward to 80% of their budget represents salaries and fringes. Salaries and fringes. And it's difficult to do anything about it because we're in the business for delivery of services.
Okay, let me ask another question. If we're in the business of delivery of service, my question to you tonight is, what is our public works gonna do about allowing them to deliver service with no workers? So half of the problem that I'm seeing is, we can't get angry because of the way the community is totally looking as of now, but we're taxing them out. They're tired. So what are we gonna do about bringing in more workers? And where are we at with that? How much of the revenue did we receive? Was the revenue cut what we received from the state? And if so, how are we gonna make it up to be able to support what the village is doing as of now? So can we continue on like this? Are we gonna survive this? Can we continue on like this? And what do you have in place that is gonna allow us to be able to keep our head above water? So these are questions that I want to know as a board member and a resident here in this village, because our children can't go to a park, they can't get in a pool, and by the way, the pool is full of 5 feet of water.
Okay,
So,
Trustee, let me answer that before you move into the next one. The thing about that is, if you notice the budget and you've gone through it thoroughly, you will notice that there are 2 positions in there for public works. There are 2 positions in there for public works, and it's 2 part-time positions. So,
hello, can everyone see me? Okay.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
That's in there.
Sorry, guys, I had another meeting. I apologize.
Okay.
Well, you don't need 2 of us, so I'm gonna jump off, guys.
Good night, Steve.
So to answer your question, that's made a part of this budget. And I think we need to understand what a budget is. A budget is almost very similar to an appropriations, meaning it's set as a guideline for expenditures, but it's also my responsibility, along with the board, to come up with dollars to compensate or justify the budget. But most people feel because it's in the budget, they can expend it. And that's not the case. If we aren't able to get the dollars, we can't expend it, but there has to be a guide. So the budget is our guide. So, so that answer your question, that's what we do with public works. Also, you need to understand that there's a lot of workers' comp issues that have to be settled. There are a lot of workers' comp issues that are pending. And there are a lot of personnel issues that the village is dealing with that I've had to take over. Some I've settled, some I'm still in the process of trying to settle. So quite a few of them are in public works.
Ma'am, may I be recognized if Trustee Jenkins yielding her time?
Yes, I yield my time.
Madam Village Manager, just a couple questions. You can breathe.
No, I'm not. My breathing hasn't variated at all.
I'm just teasing you. No, we ain't.
That's all right.
no back and forth tonight. No, but listen, I just want to make sure a couple things. I'm looking here just to get a better. I know it's a first reading draft. Am I correct?
That's right.
So then therefore that means that anything in here is not in solids for the record. I just want that to be noted. Because it's a possibility there's some typographical errors. I want to, if we go over to 2019, year-to-date actuals, that revenue, am I reading this right? I know I'm getting old. Is that 6 million or 8 million in revenue in 2019?
It says 6.
That is 6?
That's 6, 6,459,000. I'm like you, I had to put my bifocals on and everything else to be why did they make it smaller this year too?
Right.
Is it small too?
Yeah, it's smaller.
It's small.
I'm sorry.
I compared it to last year's and it's like, oh my God, I can't read this.
Right.
But
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's 6,459,641, Trustee Brooks.
okay, great. Then,
Yeah.
Madam Village Manager, I want to just, if we can go into our expenditure. I don't want to go backward. I just want to make sure when we have as we go into this, we spent 11 million, and I see we did it 3 years consistently. But in 2021, we jump
to 14.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh, I may not be looking at the same line. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that actually, I'm looking down. If the trustees want to know where my eyeballs are rolling here, this is, general fund expenditures.
Okay.
We had an up and down, Madam Village Manager. I just want to see where we can get it, because I know we had 5. It looks like after the 2020 year-to-date April actuals, we were at 11.9 million expenditure, but we jumped to 2021 16 million. But then we dropped this year. We'll be dropping down to 12 in expenditures, which that is about closer. Those who don't know, that's about closer to the normal operation range that the village had hovered around prior to me coming in. What was the big jump though there, Madam Village Manager, with that 16 million? Because let me further this, because I do, if you look up, our revenue was 11 million, but then we jumped to 14 million. But I do, if I'm not mistaken, I do remember you speaking about Clayco fees. So I know that's about $1 million. I guess $1 million had to come in for the Amazon, so that would make it 2. If you can just tell me where we got the other ones from to add up to that one. I just, because it looks like we're balancing out, but anybody to look at that, just why did we drop 2 million in revenue from 2020 to 2022? And I think common sense would be the Clayco fees would be one. You're on mute, Madam Village Manager. You're on mute. You're on mute, Madam Village Manager.
The Clayco fees was one, but impact fees, we put the money in, you take it out. So you're gonna see it. You put it in there, but you're taking it out the same time. But that's the way we had to do the budget.
Okay.
Then it was overtime. So we're about technically at the same level.
Okay.
Million versus 14 million.
So the 16 million also include possible overtime?
Not possible. If you look at the overtime, substantial overtime. With the fire department, they weren't up to the level, and there was a substantial amount of overtime for the fire department. The police department, it was something like, you look at it, 1,000 whatever plus, I don't remember the exact figure, but there were substantial amounts of overtime during the COVID-19 period.
Okay. One point I want to make, Madam Village Manager, is that, okay, I see the revenue, so let me just cross out question 4. That really 1 and 4, you just answered 1 and 4 on my sheet here. the one thing that I do understand, and Trustee Jenkins, I understood her point. One thing we got we have, I think, two departments that would be fire and DPW. They never received their 10% back that was cut. And I'm just sharing this with the board. It's more of a statement. It's not to you, Madam Village Manager, because you were not here and you were not at fault of it. But the directors, if I can, I'll probably look back and see what was the roster back then, but they took a 10% cut. And at some point, we will have to compensate them back their 10%. They took the 10% in order to save money for this village. They also, because we laid off 7 police officers, we laid off several public works people, and then we asked our front office, which would have been directors of public works, fire department. The police chief is no longer here. Can't remember who else, but at some point we're going to have to give them their 10% back. And I understand when we start talking salary, but we also have a responsibility to compensate those who ask for that sacrifice. And I can tell you right now, today, when you're driving, you had the public works director out there cutting grass as if he is an employee himself. In fact, that department is heavily understaffed. So I asked the trustees
that's part of the increase of this year. 2
Yeah.
persons are in there, been added in the budget, and 2 part-timers.
Yeah. And so I asked the trustees that this year, when we do look at this budget, we do have a huge, huge task before us. And I think we need to, tonight with the first reading, that we make sure that we comb through this thoroughly, that we also involve the public, which definitely means that my question would be, are we going to have the joint finance committee? I see you there, you unmuted.
I'm good for that. We can. We're gonna have we'll have new chairs. The sooner the better, because I want to get this stuff done, because after that second meeting in July, I don't think that no one wants to convene. I know you want to go to Mississippi and everybody wants to do their little thing for the summer. So I'll be glad to get that joint meeting as soon as possible, maybe next week sometime, and let's make it happen. We'll have a new chair, Trustee McFadden, if everything goes up. And I'm quite sure that we'll stick to the calendar of our scheduled meetings moving forward from this point on.
Okay, great. So then, Madam Village Manager, in saying that, I'm just giving my point of view. I think as a board that let's not forget our directors who sacrificed the 10%.
Well, let me ask you this, Trustee Brooks. What year was that? Was that 17, 18?
No,
do we still have the same directors?
That was actually 15.
16.
It was actually, can I interject, Trustee?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, yeah, you would know.
It was actually 2016, 17 that department heads took that cut in order
That's
to.
when I was still there. Right.
Yeah, they took the cut.
So my question is, how do we reverse some of those department heads that are no longer with us?
Well, here's one thing. I know that Director Biders and Chief Chelios were, and I call it the financial crisis. I know those 2 individuals. I think Neva Jenkins was also here. Jacilia, I don't know. I think your department took a cut as well.
Gary Richardson was here, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Gary Richardson was the director.
Yeah, Gary was gone, but I do not think Director Biders took the raise that, or even came close to the salary that Richardson had. But I think once again, Director Biders, he has sacrificed just like anybody else. And even now, if anything, this whole village should take their hat off to Director Biders, because He's operating
Yes,
with
they just-
4 guys, and you know, I'm sure, you know, he makes every time Madam Village Manager needs something done, he busts his butt to go do it. So
Yes, he does.
right. So this is not me rallying that we have to say everyone is supposed to get raised. My point is that those who took a cut, or those who've been in the middle of this struggle, that we compensate them, but we also understand the compensation of those that Madam Manager said, longevity and union contracts. If I'm not mistaken, fire department sacrificed by going 0 across the board. I'm not gonna comment on cops because I was one myself, but I know how they can be. I think they 2, 2, and 3, or 2, 2 something. But we might as well calculate that in there, because union contracts are union contracts. You cannot change that. But I think at some point, yeah, I see. I'm reading a little bit, man. I think you say, yeah, union contracts. You can't sacrifice. You know, you have to sacrifice that.
Right.
I just want to make sure, Madam Village Manager, I noticed you did say 28, so it wasn't, because I got one TIF though. We did borrow 14 million. Am I correct? That was
They
14
didn't complete
million
the process. That was only up to the time. But you know, the TIF reports, they were missing 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, 6 years worth of TIFs. So they didn't do the forensic on all the years of the TIFs.
Okay.
They
So then, trustees, and before I yield on this, because I definitely wanted to make the point about the 10% that we need to remember with our employees and with the sacrifice they made, especially DPW, what's going on. And it looks like we're balancing things here. We're trying to balance everything here. According to this budget, we're not at 14. We went down to 12 when it came to revenue. One point I definitely want to make is that we need to see, as we expand our vision, and as Cicero and all these things are happening. I did speak about us having ESDA, and there's some other things. I think we need to think about those sacrifices of those dollars that we're going to have to make in order for the village to move forward, as well as employees, because one perk, Madam Village Manager, could you I think one perk of that grant that you all are working on, you told me one day at a time, because I was in a rush to hurry up, get squad cars, but
it was submitted.
More police officers.
Submitted today, and it was given the flux, but it was submitted today, which is more than likely showing that we have to, for approximately slightly over $3 million over a 3-year period for 5 police officers. If we get funded, our share, our village share would be approximately $260, which is about $89,000, which is nothing compared to if we were to hire full police officers, paying all their fringes, the training, the safety equipment. We broke it all the way down. So I'm telling you that there are ways. I know Trustee Jenkins Bell mentioned it. There are ways that we're trying to do it, but a lot of it is operational. There's very difficult for me to sometimes A through Z what's happening, but there are a lot of ways. We're looking at the justice grant, a cops grant to get 3 years worth of
cops grant.
Officers, 5 police officers over a 3-year period.
It's not 4
other
years.
ways. I can go on and on about what's out there yet to come. So you're asking me what I'm doing. I'm doing several things. Several things.
Yeah.
In fact, there's very little left in a day of the things that I'm doing. And to just so the board can understand, they're talking, I'm experiencing all department. And just to mention, I physically worked with Public Works a full day, physically worked with Public Works. I know what they do. So I listen to you, but citizens need to know. I mean, University Parkway was clean from Western Avenue all the way east to I-57. Both sides of the street as of Wednesday was beautifully mowed. Ash was up, everything. I came back this morning just to show you a 2-day. I was disgraced. I was embarrassed of what I see. People of University Park do not do all of this by themselves.
No, it's passing through. It's passing people.
Please understand.
It's passing people.
That.
They just throw
And
stuff out the
with-
window.
If we were to have 17 people in public works, it is just difficult for us to compensate for as fast, and I mean bags of trash. I've been out on the side with the public works director, the police chief, and a police officer. We rambled through the trash with our gloves and everything on to discover who dumped it. It was another community. We went to the other community, to that person, we gave them a ticket, we charged them accordingly, but we don't have the kind of team to do that. That because it was a disgrace. People were stopping, thought we had found a dead body. We're going through the trash to prove a point. There's a lot of flyers, and it's not done by citizens in University Park. University staff and all others are having to clean it up. So all the comments, I take a lot of heat every day, but I'm just not going what I think, I'm going what I know. I work all, and it's going to be, I'm doing that with every department because people really tell some things that aren't totally true. I had Director Byther out there working, like they said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. He was out there working just like anybody else. Everybody in the public work working. They were highly working. I came back in. I didn't eat any lunch that day, but I came back in. I wanted to see what happened.
All right, Missy.
Right. Yeah. No,
We're gonna stop. We on the budget.
But I'm just telling you.
Not personnel. I'm with
it's
you.
a lot
I'm with you.
I can't tell you everything.
I'm with
So,
you.
Madam
I'm with
Village
you.
Manager,
I'm with you. But get the daggone dead trees down, get the streets striped, and get the stop signs up, and get the town cleaned up, and get the retention pond on Western up and operating. So we're back to the budget. Trustee Brooks, any more questions on the budget?
Yeah.
Wait. What did you say there? I'm sorry.
I say, let's make sure that we get the retention pond on Western up and operating, get the streets striped, do as much as we can to help Director Bison, and we want those 123 dead trees down. Excuses
got the contractor coming on the street
We have to
stripe.
find a way to make a way. The word can't does not exist. We don't accept it nor receive it. So we're gonna move forward, do the best we can with what we got, doing more with less. I worked at that public works for 5 years, so I know it as well.
Madam,
go ahead, Trustee. And Shirley?
Madam Village Manager. So I don't see, so on this, I know we spoke about this and you said one day at a time. Should the trustees expect the grant to be this year? So, because if we do, I would assume that we probably should go into leasing. If so, I'm looking here. I know you have the maintenance. I know we're trying to do the best for the maintenance, but those vehicles can be shifted down to as the unit.
Brooks, we're not gonna call it ESDA no more. We're gonna go with emergency management. I got some money off for that one.
EMS. Right. So
yeah.
So those vehicles can go as an EMS vehicle, but should we entertain this year, or would it be next budget year? As far as did you think the grant will be approved?
Because I know come back to you, trustee. We're coming back to you. I'm taking you all every step. We're going to come back to you with a capital plan for leasing other vehicles as well. So
okay,
just get a minute. I mean, do today, and we.
Trustee Jenkins.
I know that we are really gonna work extremely hard on this budget to do what's right and what's just and what's good for the village. But one thing we did not mention, we mentioned everyone. We mentioned the public works department, the fire department, the police department. I know
recreational programs.
The village back and carried it for some years. If it wasn't for 3 women, 3 strong women. Oh my God, people just don't understand that part. But our children need to come first. I'm from the South. That's where I'm from. And when we would make food in the kitchen, the first people that ate were the children. The children
Not
have
from the
nothing.
South I came from. First people they ate were the ministers.
No, well, we ate. My grandmother, she fed us first. She didn't have a minister in her house all the time. But I'm just telling you from a household standpoint.
Yeah.
The children, we ate first, and then my grandfather, because he made the money. So my thing is this: our children are being totally disrespected. They're not being the way, they're not getting what they need. And it's not right, it's not fair, and they need to get what they need. We have to take them into consideration. If there's a pool over in Deer Creek, Hickok Pool, it is full of 5 feet of water. The gate, a little bitty body can slip through the gate. I have boys. My boys were rambunctious. They were all over the place. They'll tell me they riding up the hill and they'll go do something else. If one of those children die in that pool, it's going to be unacceptable. Unacceptable. We have to take care of our children. Our children have nothing to do for this summer. Nothing. What are they to do? So because of that, I have put together a plan with the baseball organization to do some things, and I'll discuss that in my trustee comments. But the thing about this is our children needed to be included in that budget. They have suffered far and too long. They need somewhere to go. They need an outlet. They cannot continue on the way they're going on, especially with COVID, not being able to come outside, not being able to interact with their friends. They're depressed. Suicide rates are up with them. When I was before I became a trustee, they had 3 suicides down at Creek Monique Middle School. It was unreal. So these are things that we need to address and take it seriously and get it done. I yield my time.
Mayor, may I be heard?
Trustee Lewis, go ahead.
Just to piggyback off of Trustee Jenkins, I did notice while driving through the town over at Pine Lake, there is a shed that is unlocked and open, and a sign, a metal sign that's down laying on the ground. And like Trustee Jenkins said, that is like a hazardous, kids drive up and do crazy things. And maybe we can look into that to get that secured over there as far as the metal sign and the door lock. I was just driving through and just looking at Pine Lake, seeing that it is a beautiful place over there, but the shed wasn't secure. And that's on the east end, the first opening that you go in. So the shed is unlocked. There is a metal sign down on the ground, and y'all know how kids play.
I have
That's all
pictures
we
of it.
need.
Trustee,
Yeah. So if we can get that secured over there at Pine Lake, since we're talking about our kids do crazy things.
Public
I
Works
yield my time.
had secured it, and somebody busted it and opened it back up. So
Okay.
have to do something a little different with that. We're going after some additional OSLED IDNR funds in addition to that for Pine Lake. But in the meantime, we have a few, we got a funding for the restocking and dredging of the lake. But those kinds of things, we're gonna have to keep having them to repeat, and they're gonna remove the trash. There are a lot of trash. Trash removed. We had a company come out last year, cut the trees back, removed all the trash. Somebody has gone back out there and they've dumped part of their cars, busted.
I saw TVs out there and everything. I was just in disbelief.
It's ridiculous. Yes.
Unbelievable.
We're gonna get them dumpers. We're gonna get them dumpers. They're not gonna continue to trash our town.
Yeah.
But we'll have it removed again. We'll just keep doing it. Have it removed again. We'll just.
Trustee Brooks, last one.
Yeah. Just last one. Madam Village Manager, I noticed on here we do. Trustee Jenkins did mention the kids. I see. trustees, just hold on a second. I can get the page for you. That would be page 9. Now that $500 that's towards the Boy Scouts program, or am I reading that correctly?
I see it. 500 bucks at the end. It was 571 at the account. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The $6,000 was taken out, and that's what we need to discuss. If we're to put the $6,000 back in there, but
You know,
and it's going to be for everybody, all the baseball, the football, the whatever, whoever. I mean, it's based on a reimbursement kind of thing. So that's the way you initially had it.
Go ahead, go.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it, Madam Village Manager, yeah, we can put it in there, but I do believe that was on a reimbursement, and then I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that a lot of the discretion was within the village manager. That in the past, I guess receipts were inaccurate or something, and the past village manager did not release the money, so it was controversy with it. But I want Trustee, I'm just, I'll pass this one to Trustee Jenkins because she would know, and I know she's dealing with baseball. Trustee Franklin is dealing with football. I believe there is going to be football this year. Maybe we can come to a center point of what we can do with the handling of when it comes to funds, because I believe Monique gave donations as well to some of the programs within our township. May I yield my time, and if there's nothing else, I'll call the question.
Oh, we got Trustee McFadden. Go ahead, Trustee McFadden.
I just with helping with the baseball team, I remember them saying the village gave $500. So that's where that $500 came from.
Actually, we gave $600.
Oh, okay.
It was 600. But okay. we have been successful in raising some money, but we are constantly doing things that we had to make a way to be able to have a concession stand and get it to pass Will County's health inspection. So money went into that as well. But we have to really support these children.
Yeah.
And I'm watching them as I'm out doing the game time and different things like that. And the children that couldn't afford to go to the program or didn't have the monies, they're rambunctious. We need to get our basketball courts up and running. We need to do things for our youth. And it can't be something that is swept under a rug and did when we feel like it. It needs to be addressed now. You see the murder rate in Chicago is not playing, and it travels. So, it's not like we are not in proximity of Chicago. And we want to make sure that our children are sleepy and tired. I kept my children in programs so they would not get in a whole lot of mischief and they'll go to bed at night. And we need them to have something to do so parents will see their kids go to sleep at night and have free time. So we have to work at this. But that pool is a very big concern for me. We're going to have to get it tarped. I don't know, how, with what, or when, but it needs to be drained. The doors have been kicked in where you enter the pool for the changing areas. We will not be able to look ourselves in the mirror if something happens to someone's child. Mm-hmm. So it is something that we need to address and address it as fast and as soon as possible.
Right. Madam Clerk, roll call on first reading of the budget.
Trustee McFadden?
Votes aye.
Trustee Brooks?
Votes aye.
Trustee Jenkins?
Votes aye.
Trustee Bolden?
Votes aye.
Trustee Lewis?
Votes aye.
Mayor Rudez?
I concur.
All right. Motion carried.
Item F3B, appointments trustee liaison. Janelle McFadden to the Finance Committee, that's trustee liaison, and trustee Karen Lewis to the most committee as trustee liaison. Is there a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by trustee Jenkins, second by trustee Brooks. Roll call, Madam Clerk. Did I have that right order? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee McFadden,
Votes aye.
trustee Brooks,
Votes aye.
trustee Jenkins,
Votes aye.
trustee Bolden,
Both sides.
trustee Lewis,
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez.
Both aye.
All right.
So
Motion.
congratulations, young ladies. Now you hear the needs, Janelle, as the liaison to the Finance Committee on some of what the requests are. I'm quite sure you'll handle it accordingly. Trustee
Yeah.
Lewis, I'm sure you'll handle your role accordingly. Congratulations. That's all we need is more people that are anchored in the sand, in the stone to get their job done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Attached for your approval is a listing of general operating expenses for the Village of University Park that occurred May 26, 21 through June 22nd, 2021. General Fund, $306,821. Road and Bridges, $13,421.71. Town Center, $5,072.90 to 4, 5, and 6, $1,000. And the payroll fund was $2,550.55 with a grand total of $330,866.45. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Move.
Who made the motion? Trustee Bale Jenkins, and second by trustee Bolden.
Yeah.
Roll call. Questions?
Quick question, Madam Village Manager. With the golf course, help me with my mind. They're not due for no payment, am I correct? Or
Yes, they are.
did I miss it?
No, you didn't miss it.
Mm-mm.
I don't have it on mine.
Oh, you mean on the list?
Yeah, I don't see it on mine, but
I think
well, let me ask this, Madam Village Manager. The elephant in the room is the way the golf course is looking right now. And I know we are getting them, I know we're handing them, a very hefty check. I frown upon it because the check is quite big, and I actually had a complaint tonight, and I think we all seen an email from someone who complained about the golf course. I mean, how are we going to come with a solution? Because I know your plate is full, but the way the golf course look right now, I think that would be priority number one, because we only had 4 cars out there on a beautiful night, and I think we handed them 3 checks. That was $40-something thousand in the past few months.
Okay, Trustee, I'm so glad you brought the golf course up. Let me just mention something to you. The equipment in the golf course, and that's primarily what it is, exceeds 21 years. It was used when the village purchased it from this other company, so it was already over 7.
Let me tell you, Ms. Amy, it was 16 years old when the village purchased the golf course in 2005 from Urban Hills Golf Course. And that is the same equipment that was transferred over from there. Now, and they were 17 years old in 2005. Go ahead, manager.
Thank you, Mayor. 2005 from 2021. That's 16 years, an additional 16 years. So if you can do basic math, you can see that that equipment had outlived its life. But there were 2 individuals that worked for the company that as things dropped off, they had been trained and skilled in that area. They repaired it to do the next job. Dropped off again, they repaired it to do the next job. They don't even make parts to the equipment. We tried finding parts. The equipment that we have, they don't even make parts. Bought the first piece of equipment, which was a used piece, was $10,000. But what we're trying to do now is polarize and seek funds to buy this other rough mower. And the rough mower is the mower primarily used for the difference in the mowing of the golf course. So we had to hire a company to come out. And when they come out, they want their monies. You got to be ready to pay them their monies. We don't have those 2 employees anymore. They resigned, they left. So right now we don't have anybody in-house that's skilled accordingly. So we've been hiring this company. They started last Friday mowing. But
wouldn't the golf course handle that since we paid them 40-some thousand a month?
Okay, but let me, but they're not the equipment. That's our equipment.
Right.
We're the landlord. So let us not forget that. We're the landlord. We pay them for management. And just to show you, a thorough analysis was done in 2021 in order for us to create this agreement that we submitted to the board. What happened with this management group was basically what had been happening with the other management group. Other than this management group was a bit more thorough, cleaning things that had not been cleaned 10, 15 years, resurfacing, redoing floors, doing a lot of things, rehabbing the deck, all those kinds of things. But the equipment.
Can I ask the question?
Sure.
When was the last time the golf course was assessed before this management company got in there? When was the last time it was assessed?
There's no
before these problems, because these are problems that just happened recently.
No,
these had to be happening over the years. When was the last time it was assessed fairly?
It probably has never been.
Records on it,
I
so I don't know when
it was, Trustee Lewis.
Well, then that answers why we don't have any records.
Because here's my point, is that I know we're the landlords paying some tenants to live in our house. I know that I was there with Miss Coffey when the mayor and I we agreed that I know we were supposed to take care of the air compressor. That fell under us. Is right now we need to make money, and we approved the contract for them to also begin to serve beer and food. And when we have a resident or actually a golf club owner, or member, and they come and take pictures of the sand traps, and I think all the board members seen it. That happened. That was a lot of negligence. And I mean, right now, what can we do? Because the equipment for DPW, me being a lawn guy, for those who know, rotary, we cannot put a rotary lawnmower out there. Nope. And that golf course, the lawnmower for a golf course, which spits the grass forward and recycle it. I know it costs an arm and a leg, but we're gonna have to bite that one too, or does it come out of their management fee? I mean,
no. The equipment. You see, if they were to leave tomorrow, that equipment will still be ours. We have estimates, and I got the most inexpensive new estimates on it. It's sitting right on one of the piles of papers on my desk, but I can put my hands on it. We're ready. If this board helped us figure it out, we got to figure out how we're going to maneuver and get the money to buy this piece of equipment. That's what we've been trying to do. But we've got the estimates, we've got the type of equipment we're in, but I'm working closely with them we're trying to figure out where this money is going to come from. Tomorrow, if we had access to that $119,000 is what we need.
So,
Trustee Brooks, you're asking the same question that I have I have asked to Miss E, it's like me and you on the same impression on with us paying them, like you said, to stay in our place. But then the equipment and stuff, I just found out. She told me before, but she's saying it now. But we're all under the same impression. Well, some of that money we're giving you, can you get all this done? But it's not. It's different. She said, like, it's our equipment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Our equipment, but they're paying to have the lawn redone.
Oh,
They're paying
okay.
to have that done.
So it's our equipment. So the same with the air conditioner and everything else. So I come to understand that the kitchen wasn't, and not in compliance with Will County, that there were 15 violations in the kitchen maybe 2 weeks ago, and that she knocked down all the things on the list, which prohibit them from getting the thing. The place has just been torn up from what I'm understanding.
So let me ask you a question, Mayor. So, Miss E, so the kitchen has not been assessed either, and that was like old equipment in there and whatever is going on. That was one of the reasons why they couldn't get the golf course up and running, as Trustee Brooks was asking.
Before the board signed the contract, the water was left on all night, full speed. It damaged all the kitchen, all the floor, the ceiling tiles, rotted, all the woods went down, computer room, all night it was left on.
So no pipe bursted, that was left on intentionally?
It was turned on, it was left on.
Wow.
Sonia, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So it's a lot of damage.
We got a company in to begin to repair that.
Still on mute.
Insurance, the insurance company is like a conduit that's assisting us to do what we have to do, but we still have co-pays. Still have co-pays.
So
there are a lot of loose ends. It's like everything, there's a dark cloud that has come down, and the village is in a rehab mode, a totally rehab mode. But this company, it takes an average of 2 days to mow that lawn. Now, when I had Public Works to do the right of way, and this company mowed the lawn, it was looking gorgeous. People were complimenting, but then shortly thereafter, people were criticizing me because Public Works had never mowed the right of way out in front of the
parkway
golf course all the way east to Central Avenue. They had never done it before, but it's the village's responsibility. And it came out before the two guys that were there, they were mowing it for the village. When they left, it was nobody to mow. So I had Public Works out to mow. They didn't complain. If they did, they didn't complain to me. They did a beautiful job. We got a lot of compliments on that, but they didn't. And then there were some rumors about they mowed the golf course. Absolutely not. We don't have the equipment. We can't mow the golf course. They mowed the right of way, both sides of the roads.
Right.
So starting that they do now every week.
Can I ask a question? What I'm trying to understand, Miss Ernestine, if we have to get a company to come in and cut the grass. We have them living in our house and we're paying them, which is something we agreed to. So what are we paying them to cook food and they can't cook it? Are we still paying that?
No, we're not paying them.
Not on the other side. The other side of the golf course is closed.
Yes,
I mean, the other side.
In the past, we
don't have to make that payment.
No, not now, because it's not operational.
Not now.
No.
Okay.
Not now.
So have we talked to them to see if they would come, if we can meet each other halfway to get this equipment that we need? If they're going to take up residence for any length of time?
Yeah. So, but the point is, it's structural. It's structural. That's the problem. The issues with our structural.
So when you say structural, that's what we own.
No, yeah, that's what we own.
That's our
For
responsibility.
the damage, we're trying to repair that. The floor and the ceiling joists. The ceiling joists have, some of it have, you have to see it, but yeah, it's the flooring and ceiling joists. And
Well,
the equipment.
the
up.
money that we should pay them, you know, to run the restaurant and different things like that, that we entered a contract with them to take over the restaurant, and we're not currently paying them. Why
No.
can't that monies be to begin the renovation? That's what I'm trying. I mean, they got it. We have to fix it.
Right,
Aren't they
Trustee,
just about finished?
Trustee, we are doing it.
You fixing it?
We've had the company, we started that the next day after the damage. We are doing it. We're hoping
Okay,
to have that completed. So like,
okay.
there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that are going on. And I know I can't tell you all every day, because if I sat down with you every day and told you everything that went on, you'd have to take something like Tylenol.
Yeah. Last question, Madam Village Manager, last question. Would, check 107-266, the Serve Pro, that is definitely for our town center, and we did not, as far as insurance.
We haven't gotten that back yet. We
Okay,
haven't
so
gotten our insurance payments back yet. But Miss Kelly and I confirmed, we submitted the form. So we were supposed to have received a check last week, but Miss Kelly can tell you that check hasn't come in. In.
okay, so we will be getting that back.
Well, we have
Okay.
to pay our copay. We will be getting our percent, our 80%. I think it's 80/20. Look at it again. I think it's, but we'll be getting, we still have to pay our 20% though of the total cost.
Okay, may I yield my time tonight?
All right. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
All right. Trustee McFadden,
Votes aye.
Trustee Brooks,
Votes aye.
Trustee Jenkins,
Votes no.
Trustee Bolden,
Both sides.
Trustee Lewis,
Votes aye.
Mayor Rudas.
Both sides to pay the bills.
All right, bills payable passed.
All right. Trustee Sonia, I know you mentioned that you had a report. Do you want to start off with a report, Trustee Jenkins?
Oh, okay, yeah. Recently, well, I got something to say. The baseball team has won its first 4 games. We're doing really, really well. We lost to Park Forest. I thank Trustee McFadden for coming out and supporting us continuously and always. We as a organization, you know, we have a grave concerns about our children and not having activities. So myself and our baseball board came together and we decided to do a family fun Friday, which we will implement starting in right after the 4th of July. Every Friday, we will be doing activities in Craig Park for the children, such as karaoke night. We have a bouncy house coming. The Double Dutch Club is coming. We have quite a few activities, movies in the park. We have quite a few activities planned for the children of the baseball organization and whatever children that would like to join us in family fun. Our concession is up and running. So we have put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. I have great things to say about my board, Ms. Robin Walker, Ms. Donna Dilworth, also Coach Greg Barksdale, Coach David Savier, and Brandon. We are just beyond, it has exceeded all our expectations. And I just wanted to give a shout out to them. And also, I want to tell the residents of the village to stay encouraged. The village is trying to move forward. It's the little engine that could, and it's the little engine that will get it done. So, you know, work with our public works director. He works extremely hard. All our public works guys, I have to commend them for all of their hard work. I have to commend one of our police officers came out with our baseball organization and joined us in a practice with his children. The coach from the high school came out and joined us in a practice with his children. So things are moving forward, and they're moving forward in a positive way for our youth. I will continuously fight for our youth, for our senior citizens. I have a giveaway coming up in July. I'll be giving out more information at a later date. I've been working extremely hard for some things, and we're seeing if it'll come. Just keep your fingers crossed. I'm asking the residents to keep their fingers crossed to see if it'll come to pass. So we have really been working hard, and I also want to just continuously thank the board for their support in my endeavors. And that's basically all I have to say. And also, I have one more thing. Our trustee on the library board, Jen Thompson, she lost her mother about maybe 2 weeks ago. And I want to do a moment of prayer for her and her family. She is near her, are similar because we're only children. So I know that it has taken a great toll on her family as well as her children. And so I just want to say, keep her lifted in prayer, and thank you.
Amen.
Anybody else have comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just to give my report, Thursday, we did have our first call with Aqua Water. Aqua Water, as we had said before at the town hall meeting, we have entered a litigation stage when it comes to the water. What that means is that pretty much now everything is probably, they're discussing terms that only like Attorney Miller and all those guys with the, big degrees talk. But the Aqua Water, the AG that's on it, she did say that if any resident, once again, has any complaints or they have any concerns, to please notify myself or Village Hall of, actually, if you wanted to go straight to me, straight to the AG's office to complain, please just give me a call, 708-921-4577. But at this point, we're trying to get all the little things together as it does enter another phase. We're asking for many things, including if you believe that your water needs testing again. Some of you all had your water tested by Aqua Water, and you don't feel that your water passed the test, meaning that they're telling you there's no lead in your water, but you believe, hey, there's possibility that lead in the water, and they telling me that that's not true. You can get it tested again. We have went that far to make sure that has gotten done. So that's a plus on that.
You have the number for Theo, the number for them to call in for if they want additional testing.
You got it.
Manager, one of us should have it. I'm looking through the notes now.
Yeah. So that is one thing. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, when you call us, it's to, pretty much say, for instance, you didn't get your water, or you need someone, or you're not able to bring the water into the house, and Aqua may be dropping it at the front door and just leaving. If you are a person of disability, we're telling you here as a board member, because the 3 board members that sit on there, 3 administration, or 3 members of this village, is myself, the village manager, and the mayor. What we do is that we're trying to address every single issue. The village manager probably get a ton more calls than I do, but as far as me, usually, such as billing, someone just notified me yesterday. He said that he received a $240 bill. And I think I'm gonna have to take a look at that. If I'm not
That a sewage charge?
Yeah, it was sewage. Yeah, plus sewage charge. And I was gonna ask you, if I'm not mistaken, we had a cap on that, but I don't want to misquote, because if I'm not mistaken, Aqua either said they were gonna do a cap on the sewer charge or something of the sort. I can't remember. But if you just give me time, I will definitely have it ready by next board meeting. But this is sometimes things are happening, and the 3 of us do not get this information right away, or information is not communicated to the 3 of us. and things slide through the crack, and we, only find out when we out and about in the community. 4th of July is indeed coming up. I would like the residents, let me just say this. I know last 4th of July was COVID. I think that let's be sensitive. I know we probably don't have young people watching, but let's be sensitive to those who have fought, came home from Afghanistan, came home from Iraq, those who probably worked a wild police department where shots fired happen all the time. Those things do kind of make people jumpy. And I just want to say, look, when you fire fireworks and it's midnight, come on now. Let's be respectful. I know we had Juneteenth that came by, and I hope that's not a scenario, but University Park was kind of busy Saturday.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Yes, and I
Saturday,
think
Sunday, and last night. And I was going to call the police last night, and it just stopped. So
yes,
I agree.
Yes, we gotta, folks, let's be considerate of each other. Let's understand too. I know Chief Wilson and Miss E are planning on putting extra police officers on the street. Last year, I know as much we heard the fireworks. If you went into that police station, they had a ton of fireworks that they confiscated. So basically they were going to the call, confiscate a ton of fireworks. And before they even went back on the street, it was like they were outnumbered. And then of course, Jimmy Kimmel Live made it it brought it to a reality when that Monday, they just showed how fireworks was everywhere. It did make a difference across America. But if we can in University Park, let's be sensitive to the veterans. Miss E, I think you're doing a manager's report tonight, right? Are you? I had three complaints I just wanted to give out.
You can complain.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Miss E, if you can, one of them is Mr. Stewart, if we can. Mr. Stewart is quite aggravated. I did go to his house. If we can pay that sod bill, I'm sure he's not the only one, but if we can pay the sod bill, he wants to try to have his lawn looking nice by the 4th of July. I can understand. I think what it was that we didn't pay the bill, and when the director spoke to Mr. Stewart and his wife, he was unable to pick up the sod because we did not pay the bill or something of the sort. I don't know the details. You may want to look into that. But
Yeah,
if he,
I know about the mailbox now. The sod is a different issue for me here.
yeah, if we can take care of the
Does
sod.
Mr. Dyther know about this?
He knows about Mr. Stewart because Mr. Stewart makes it. I think some of us may know him. Mayor Rudez, Coach Stewart on Harvest Lane. Yeah, Coach Stewart would like his. He definitely would like to get that taken care of, and probably, Madam Village Manager, you probably will address this, but Merchant Plaza, if you can give Miss Shaw a call. Miss Shaw was not shy of letting me know that I guess that Duchess Empire, she got it in August of 2019 and put about $10,000 worth of work in it. And she been having problems ever since. So if you can address that, that was just my two complaints I had since last board meeting. I'm sure we'll get it taken care of. So Mr. Mayor, I yield my time and I wish everyone a safe 4th of July, and Juneteenth was indeed fun.
Anybody else have any other reports, elected officials, before we go to our manager? Okay. Manager E?
First of all, we're handling that Merchant Plaza circumstance.
Yeah, actually, they're texting and calling about it now, inquiring on why there's stickers on the windows of J&J Fish and things of that nature now, on the live on YouTube right now.
Well, let me just mention as part of my report, I wanted you all to know that we had been communicating with the owner. I've sent letters in the past. Code enforcement have been making the reports, giving them all kinds of violation notices, charging fees. The fire department has constantly been on them. They have not adhered to anything. Everybody in that plaza was at jeopardy safety-wise. The Will County Fire Department and all the other entities have finally put their feet down to say, village, you got to have this building to comply. It becomes a safety issue. Knowing that we have provisions already in place. Fire department, code enforcement, we've been going back and forth with this. We sent the letter, they didn't comply. We gave them even another extension. They sent out fake notices to the occupants to calm them down, but it didn't, it was just that. Finally, today, the fire department, code enforcement went to the owner and told them that every business was effective today shut down. Every one of the businesses was shut down. The people down there have been paying their rents to this landlord with a promise that he would, one, install sprinkler systems and some other kinds of things. In particular, JJ Fish needed that to continue to operate his business, as does all others. You have two tenants in there, and I'll not mention their names, that are in there that have paid their down payments, that continue to pay monthly rent, that have put dollars into that facility. And this man has promised to them for some time that he was going to do this, has not done it. Well, the point is the village has extended. It's been almost 2 years. So as of today, everybody was shut down. He's going to compensate those individuals whatever way. That is not the village's problem. The problem with us is that he did not comply. So we can't have those structures occupied, because if something happened, they will come to the village and we might as well forget all else that falls. So that took place today. And trustee, that was one of the concerns that one of your persons were concerned about. That's exactly what happened today. There is nothing at this point the village can do. It's the owner of the property that they continue. When they were calling me, I said, you know, you do what you have to do, but if you feel you're not given according to the lease, then you have a right to do what you have to do. But I can't, as a village entity, tell you what to do, but we are dealing with the owners. So I've been doing what I could, helping, but I've been very as they call, I tell them facts. I don't tell them any fiction. I've been telling them the progress. I tell them the date, when I sent the letter, when code enforcement inspected, when the fire department, I've been keeping them up to date on all of that. So that has been taking place, but today it all came to a head. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we are about done on the Old Forge Lane sewer issue. We're finally almost done, and we've done it the way it should be done. When it rained, we had only put part in, but when it stormed the other night, there was no water, and we're not totally done yet. And just think, there was no water when we're not totally done. We only have some of it done. So finally, we're doing this and completing this. And this is another issue that has been outstanding with the village for I can't count the number of years. So it finally be resolved. That's one of the other things. The other thing is the pond on Western Avenue was dredged. The garbage and all of that was cleaned out. That has been outstanding. I went over, I parked the car, and I talked to some neighbors asking them if they were a homeowners association. Some of them looked at me as though I was crazy. I just asked because I wanted to know why was the pond looking the way it was. It was looking the way it was because the village hadn't maintained it for all the many years. The aerator was put on the peripheral of the property. It's the first time I've ever seen an aerator installed on the peripheral of a pond. Generally, it's center, which drudges in from each of the corners, and they go out and it cleanses the water. It takes drainage, go out, cleanse the water. That's the way aerators work. But this particular aerator was in one corner, which means that really it didn't have the ability to pull from all the corners and out. So we're going to eventually have to look at restructuring the location of their aerator. But it's so many ills. It's the first time I've had an opportunity to actually look, but it was cleaned out by Public Works. Public Works cleaned it, but we're going to further clean the balance by having the equipment, somebody, a company to come in and actually drudge. But they got the peripheral garbage out. It looks super better, but we're going to get it done. Also, we're accepting the bids right now from Blackhawk. We're getting it restriped. We're going to come back to the board. If it's over $5,000, I will be back at the board, but it can technically be funded under the motor fuel tax, which is, it's a basic street maintenance. So under the motor fuel tax, we're looking to professionally stripe Blackhawk. We asked that Public Works to do it, but Public Works didn't have the equipment. They had a little striper that you use for a baseball field. Consequently, that was the result. They didn't have the equipment. They tried to do what they did, and I got hundreds of thousands of complaints, even though we don't have that many people that live in town. So the point is, we're having it professionally done. So just bear in there, hold on for a minute, that is being done. It's quoted that we have 115 dead trees. No, we have 219 dead trees. I physically went out street by street, street by street, and got the addresses. I did it with Public Works. I did it with code enforcement, and I did it by myself. We have in excess of 200 dead trees. And I mean, not trees that are partially. There are some trees that can be savored where part of the tree is dead and some are not. They just haven't been pruned. And as a result of not being pruned, you'll see some of it have died. It's just like a plant in your front yard. Some is beautiful, vibrant, some of it dies. We got to prune some trees. We got to actually cut some trees, and we got to remove the stumps. This Monday, I was out with Public Works again because we had many trees, dead trees, to block streets, to block driveways of people's houses. And then we got the thank yous because Public Works did what they had to do, cut stumps, laid them in the right of way, went back today, and they picked them up. So there's a method to our madness, especially when we don't have enough employees to do it. We have to maneuver and do what we have to do. So everybody is working right now, but we still have in the budget 2 and 2, and we're looking 2 and 2. So we hope that that will remain that way. Also, there are the most workers' comp claims we have in the village are in Public Works. Drained our budget as well. It drained our budget to not allow us to hire appropriate full-time personnel because monies have to go. Even if we have workers' comp people that get 66.60% versus 100%. There are some that have not been reduced as of yet, which means we're paying them comparable time off with pay. We're sending them through medicals. We're doing all of that. So a lot of that is going on. The final thing I want to mention, and it's probably today I can talk about different things, but I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to just stop and end my report, and that is the golf course, the golf clubhouse, Regal Farm, of which we've done the roof. I have pictures of every segment in Regal Farm. We're in the process of doing the windows. We're going to try to stabilize the planks on the porch, because we know people in there. Somebody has BB shot out the window on the top floor. Shot out the window. So, it's fighting a losing battle. People complain because we have the boards up to the window. Now, what's going to happen, we're going to pay all this money to have these new windows put in, and if you don't want the boards, we pray that they don't go through this BB gun, natural guns, whatever spree of popping them out again. So that's good money thrown after the bad money. But the point is, we're strategizing, we will do that. But in the meantime, there are some other buildings in that property that we're looking at feasible ways we can use dollars to do, but we are pending. When OSLAD, IDNR opens up, we're there. We don't even have to resubmit a grant. That is the grant they said they would use. We don't have to resubmit it. And that grant is strictly for Regal Farm, strictly for Regal Farm and nothing else. So that monies will be used in Regal Farm. But let me tell you also, I was over to the Pine Lake. I've gone over with code enforcement. I've gone over with former trustees. I've gone over with the public works director, and we've gone from A to B to C to D. We've progressively seen how it worked. When we first opened up, it was pretty good, and it was gotten worse. I talked to some fishermen out there, and they were telling me that there were people coming in and they see dump. A lot of people don't want to be involved, or a lot of people don't want you, the violator, to see that you're taking a picture of their license plates or you got their license plate. But the problem is, we'd be in a better situation if people can get license plates numbers. We can transform those license plate numbers into people and try to get at this. The police department is working with us in this effort, but we can only work even more so if the citizens help. Let's talk about, very quickly, let's talk about Nacky Road. Nacky Road, Nacky Road, Nacky Road. I took pictures of before pictures of Nacky Road. Public Works went over and cleaned Nacky Road, removed debris, had dumpsters full of stuff from Nacky Road. I did after pictures of Nacky Road. To circumvent having to have that repeat again and to stop people from dumping, they got 2 heavy cement center blocks, and we blocked the street. Someone as heavy as that had to have a heavy piece of equipment
to move it,
some kind of hook, to open that back up, went back over, dumped all that stuff again, and it took them a week or 2. They dumped that stuff again. Building materials all this stuff back over there again. It's just horrible. It's a headache, but people criticize University Park, but it is not University. University Park is doing their share with what we have to work with. And yes, I put the pressure on Public Works. They tell you I put the pressure on it, but they'll go over there and do the work. But I'm first over there taking the pictures too. I take the before pictures. I take the pictures doing while they take the pictures doing the work, send them to me. Then I go back over and take after pictures. So it's and pictures don't lie. I have to tell you that. It's just Nacky Road is more than a notion. They went over and they asphalted Nacky Road and they got rid of those pits and dips and died. I think what we did, we made it better for people to use that to travel even more. So you think you're doing something good and it ended up, it was a good decision. Just say that, it was a good decision. Pine Lake, Nacky Road, Western Avenue Pond, we're doing some slight patching on Amherst. I go around early in the morning, in addition to code enforcement, the Public Works, and myself. We always are asking and getting violators. We get violators, we either have them stop order or call somebody that knows something about what's going on in their block. And then they will either produce a permit or they're directed immediately to go through the village hall. That has happened on Saturdays. That has happened on Fridays. They start working sometime early morning. But we're out there early mornings. We're out there on Saturdays, and sometimes on Sundays. They come when they don't think nobody's at the village. But when it's correct and they have their permits, then it's okay. We move on. We tell them they should display it somewhere. If it's done to a home, we ask the homeowner to display it so that the outside can see it. But there has been a lot going on. There have been grant applications submitted. There have been excessive inspections. There have been a lot of Public Works work. There has been a lot of hacks. IT has been working downtime, 11, 12 o'clock at fire department, police department, all go out. They comes in at night and they work. There have been personnel transitions and changing in the villages. And right now, we're in the face of all union renegotiations. And everybody, I mean, everybody, all the unions are looking for Me Too clauses. You know anything about unions, you know what Me Too clause. And without telling you all in this episode, some of the issues, just say that what's good for the goose has got to be good for the gander. Maybe that's a wrong analogy to use, but you get my drift. You understand what I'm saying? Have to do it across the board. When one has done it, we have to do, because the union comes back and they go with an arbitrator, and the village has not been successful the 2 years I've been here. When we've done something contrary to the other, independent arbitrators have always come down on the village. We just haven't been successful. So it's best we could save that money if we look at trying to deal with it, because ultimately what we have to do is end up backtracking, making things retroactive and bringing it forward. And those are some dollars too that you'll see in the increase in the budget, because we had to retroactively pay for some fire costs that we had to deal with. And guys, I can be on this all day, but Saturday, let me just say this in the final comment. There was a safety issue. We did not have any idea of how many people would show up for the town hall meeting. Bottom line is, for safety, public health and safety, we could not bring them into 90 towns.
Right.
We can't control Mother Nature. It had been cool. And then all of a sudden it transitioned. It went up into the 90s. Outside. We had it outside. There was a lot of criticism that came as a result, but a lot of people, rather than to sit in those seats, they were shaded under town center. Some sat in their cars, they heard, but we didn't have a choice. We were just not clear on how many people would be there. Couldn't put them in the town center, and we did not want to look at overpopulating the golf course. So as was answered in that public sentiment about Miss Williams, that stated at the earlier part of the town center hall meeting, it was discussed and it was questioned as to why the meeting was outside, and the mayor addressed it. So the question was asked again, and I just politely said that it was mentioned earlier. But that's going to end my report. Thank you.
Can I get, Mayor, may I be recognized for a quick second? Mayor, can I be recognized for a quick second?
Go right ahead,
Mayor,
trustee.
you're muted. Okay.
Okay. Ms. E, when you said that the striping was going to be done on Black Hawk by a professional, are those potholes that's getting really, really bad going down Black Hawk going to be patched before it looks really stupid to put all that nice patch, striping, and the holes bigger than the streets now?
Okay.
So is that going to be addressed first?
We're going to have them to patch those holes.
Please.
Director Byther had talked about that, but during the course of the day, they're so diverted. They're diverted into lawn mowing and
right. I understand.
We're going to try to get that done beforehand to have it patched before the striping. But I just want the board to know Director Byther is going to the Illinois Municipal League Conference because he is going to join the South Suburban Public Works Association so that he can begin to put staff into these trainings that can properly teach them how to correctly patch.
That's probably needed.
Got to deal with.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else? Trustee McFadden?
Yes, I would just like to mention, me and Trustee Bolden had a wonderful time today at the job fair. I just want to thank Claudia and everyone who worked hard to put it together. We enjoyed just going to tables and meeting different people, and it was very, very good. That's number one. Number two, Miss E, do you know who owns Thornwood House? Because that parking lot is a mess. And that was one of the things I talked about fixing once I got in, and now I'm in and I have to work on that. So could you tell me who owns it? Does the village or does Thornwood House own it?
Thornwood House, the development company owns that.
Okay.
Need to talk to is the manager of that facility.
Okay.
Do you know
who that is?
The road that leads up into that is the road that the village owns, and that's what we're going to repair.
Okay.
Good.
Excuse me for interrupting. I think the minutes should reflect that it looks like Trustee Brooks has left. So just for purposes of whoever's keeping the minutes, it looks like, at least according to mine, he's left. So I don't know. Trustee Brooks, are you there?
Yes, he's still here.
Yeah, he's still
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, mine said he left, so.
Okay. Okay, that it, Trustee McFadden?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Can everybody see me? Anybody see me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Melvin, just a very quick question. I know the mayor had hit on it earlier, and I know the question is going to come up between now and the next board meeting for the movement of land or construction or whatever is going on. Not construction, I guess the mayor said clearing the land. No building permits or any of those things are needed to be done for that to be operational over there on Cicero and then over by the I-57? Because I know that question is going to come up.
Mary, you want me to answer that?
Go ahead.
First of all, the developer in question, right now, he's like a normal business. Like a normal business. Anybody that come in town, they purchase the property. Purchase the property. They came in, they pay their permits for excavating and all that. They are working through code enforcement and all others. Believe me, between code enforcement and ourselves, we got people over there that are meticulous. We're making sure that they dot every I and cross every T. But right now, they're in the lane of a business. They don't have a TIF. If they want concessions under provision of the enterprise zone, they have to go through Will and Cook County enterprise zone. That has not been done. They're getting their preliminary requirements of the traffic study, all that. They're getting all that in place. There is not a need for them to come into the village right now. They're properly zoned, so they're operating based on that. They purchased the land. We got our transfer monies for the transition between the ownership. So we have been following everything to date.
Okay. So if anything does come out of it, we will go through the normal process. But
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, is that our buddy, my favorite friend? Is that his property?
No, he's
No.
no. Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No.
No. Completely away from the TIF. No TIF.
Okay. All
No.
right.
No TIFs. A TIF
right.
isn't even being considered.
So if that's it, I want to update the residents by our next board meeting. I'm waiting on pending information from Springfield regarding the lead pipe bill, which was recently passed. I think I'm going to be at that signing and preferably at University Park and get some things out of that, which will help our residents get homes repiped in University Park. So that's my comments for today. Don't want to put the cart before the horse. A lot of legislative things are going on, which I'll update everybody before we have our recess this summer. So if that be it, Trustee Brooks, may I have a motion, please?
May I motion to adjourn this meeting?
Is there a second?
I second it.
There's a majority second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign? None? Thank you, good people.
Happy
Have
Fourth.
a fantastic evening.
Yeah. Everyone have a great 4th of July.
All right. You
Please
too.
stay healthy and be careful.
Continue staying safe.
Be safe, everyone.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
Good night.